What's up, everybody? It's Keyz from KeefKeyz.com, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Mix. Now, on this episode, I get a chance to sit down with my brother Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. If you don't know who he is, he's an ambassador for music producers. He works with all of the top-level music production companies, as well as the billion-dollar gaming laptop company Razer. He works with Sweetwater, Isotope, and many more. Earlier this year, we had a chance to sit down and we kind of talked about the forecast for 2020, what to expect in the music industry, what to expect for artists, for music producers, for the whole music community at large. So this is kind of a follow-up to that conversation, so I'll link the link to that video in the description below. In this video is the producer playbook for 2021, so we just go over a lot of things that can help the producer community, but the whole music community at large for 2021, and how to grow, how to build, how to take advantage of all the opportunities. We know that 2020 has been weird and a lot of things have shifted, even in the music community and in the music world. So with that being said, here is the conversation that we have. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you see this video, take time to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification for more videos like this to come. Let's go.
Did you see the interview with 60 Minutes, I think, and Barack Obama?
Yeah.
He was talking about how when he went to take out Osama bin Laden, the plan didn't go as planned. And so they had to have a plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E. So like, do we really think through all the iterations of what could happen? So that's how I've been, is really stretching my brain to think, okay, if that happens, then am I still good? Like, but living that, you know what I mean? 2020 really made me like live stuff just not going as planned. And it is what it is. But I mean, so in your journey, because you deal with a lot more people, and we'll get into the studio story and that behind the scenes stuff. But in dealing with more people, whether it's talent or people you want to do business with, or maybe you have clients that you have to satisfy, what's something that changed in 2020? And the reason I'm asking you this is because if people in the chat don't adapt to the new marketplace, like a new need or new demand or something like this, then they could be forgotten about.
Did my notes get leaked to you, brother? Dang. That legit question. I mean, like, for me, a lot of things have actually changed. Like for me, like you started seeing like a lot of like website traffic and stuff like that, because I guess people were bored, but like the interactions were like the opposite. So it's like more traction, but less interaction, which is like weird. But then the crazy thing that happened to me, and I hope that this helps somebody out, because this was a real blessing for me. 2020 has been the most weird season. A lot of stuff went wrong. A lot of stuff did not go as planned. Like you said, a lot of stuff did not go. But for me personally, it has been the most financially best year I've ever had, music-wise. I've done the most music business I have ever done. I have worked with the most people I have ever worked with, and I probably got the least amount of sleep I ever got in my life. You know, and like and a lot of stuff, like I said, a lot of stuff didn't go as planned. I mean, I'm be honest with you, like I got like a studio space and stuff like that, but even with this, I even told myself a while ago I would never open up my studio to the public ever. I'm just going to work with people I want to work with, and that's it. But then plans changed, and that actually opened up the door for a lot of other things to take place, which now does allow me to work with just the people who I want to work with. But so sometimes it's like when things don't pan out the way how you planned them, if you go with the flow and if you have more confidence in yourself, you know, because if you have a business plan or you have an idea music-wise of what you want to do, it's going to change. Cool. But if it changes, are you going to still move forward? Or a lot of people, what they do is kind of like in our industry,
when algorithms change or the system changes or the beat store changes or the web traffic changes, it's like, all right, so what's the new thing, guys? What's the new wave? I know somebody got it. I know somebody. Oh, they're doing that. So we all got to do that. And it's kind of like, yeah, but no. It's kind of more like, having more confidence in yourself. And I know that's like a little cliche. That's like the typical YouTube like result if you search like how to be successful. Don't give up. I mean, but it's kind of in all actuality, it's that, but it's more so sticking to what you're good at. Stop trying to be like everybody else. I know I'm going off on a tangent. Stop trying to be like everybody else. Stop trying to find out new systems, new tools, new ways and stuff. Stick to what you know, because there's actually an audience, there's a clientele that's waiting just for you. And the time that you spend looking at the food at somebody else's plate, you're kind of not focused on your own development, your characteristics, the things you're good at. So then when it's time and the opportunity opens itself for you to be blessed and to take advantage of opportunities that are in front of you, a lot of people are going to be scared out of their mind. Like, because a lot of people want success, but they don't really want it, because it's like they want it, it's a good thing to say, but to actually be prepared for it actually shows that you're ready for it. So it's like when those opportunities open, then it's like, boom. So I say all that to say, like, this year, I planned on going a different direction music-wise. I planned on doing a lot of different projects. I wanted to do a lot of projects for myself, and the artists that I really work with come out with compilation albums and mixtapes, because I used to do that a lot, especially with like artists that I'm trying to groom, like up and coming artists that I'm actually working with on a one-on-one basis. I really would want to put them out and let them shine, let them be the star, and and you just hear me in the background and I'm just pushing them. That's kind of like what I wanted to do, and none of that worked this year, none of that, but like I said, I've done the most business I've ever done, serviced the most clients I've ever serviced, just did a lot more things. But the key thing is, like, when stuff goes wrong, is like you have to, number one, calm the heck down. First of all, chill out, relax, and then be confident in yourself and just like, go with the flow. Sometimes you can't, there's stuff you can't avoid. You know what I mean? 2020 is one of those things. Nobody avoided 2020. It's just crazy. It's wild. But if you stick to what you're good at, when the levee breaks, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have your opportunity to shine. Long answer, golly. I don't even know what people are saying. Let me look at this live. What are people saying?
Oh no, I mean, chat's usually distracting as usual. I like to focus on the combo, but you're making a lot of good sense. Is that a lot of people want success and they just don't know the other side. And you mentioned this, you said it very clearly. The other side is, okay, for example, people say they want to be where you're at, or want to be where somebody else is at, but they don't want to spend 3 weeks in their bedroom locked to their computer without barely leaving the bedroom. They don't want to do that hard work. It's not so glamorous. And how do you think, now you were prepared for the income of all these things. So what about people who, let's say they're a beginner, what are some things they can do to be able to receive that much energy? Does that make sense?
Oh man, I really believe in like old school homegrown principles, and I really do mean that. Like for me, my biggest thing is customer service. That's my biggest thing. Now to some degree you got to be tight with the music. I gotta be tight. I gotta make sure it's people sounding good, or else they're not gonna ever come back to me. I don't care how nice you are, but the reality of it is I put customer service first. I mean first. When I say first, I mean first. And I'm not going to go into details of like all the crazy stuff I do, but like even in the studio over here, like this space is not for me. This space is for people who want to come and make music. It's not for me because there's nothing but food. I got food. I have food over there. for artists, not for me. You know, food, not like some dinky little cheese, you know, crackers. Like I got food, you know. So it's like putting people first, treating people with respect, the reciprocity rule. I mean, that happens all day. You know, the more nice you're to somebody, subconsciously they're going to think that they owe you, so they're going to end up paying that forward back to you. Stop treating people like they're just a sale or an artist or something like that. They're a person first. So if you treat them like a person, most times they'll treat you back like a person as well. And then even on the business tip, it's easier to sell to somebody who knows you, who really knows you, versus to somebody who doesn't know you from a can of paint. So that's why, like, a lot of artists, I mean, a lot of producers nowadays, they get caught up in the algorithms, get caught up in the systems, and they forget about the person on the other end of the screen. But if you learn to interact with that person, be sociable with that person, actually have a connection, it's easier to sell to them than it is to somebody who doesn't know you from a can of paint. Now, this year has been great for me, but it took a while of relationship building. You know, it took, I mean, oh my God, the rates I used to charge used to be laughable, but I used to treat people with the same type of respect I treat them now. And then I just kept, you know, keeping in contact with them, kept talking to them, invite them over sometimes. Hey, yo, football on. If you in the studio and we talking about football and all this crazy stuff and the game's on, you might just be invited to come over just to watch it, you know, stuff like that. But then when it's like, you know, when the season gets slow or something like that, like, you know exactly who to call to make that move with, you know exactly. So treat people right. Sorry, that's my number one thing. Treat people right. The second thing is be organized. If you're not an organized person, I don't understand. If you can't handle the things you got now, then don't ask for more. That's just the basics of it. If you can't handle what you have now, then do not ask for more. All right, because you're going to be overwhelmed, and some people wait kind of for the success to come, and then I'll be ready. That's not how it happens. It's kind of like people who are really great, they already have an innate ability that they were kind of born with or never taught, but they developed over the years, that when opportunities comes, it shows how prepared they were for that opportunity. Not that the opportunity just came and now they got prepared. Of course, when an opportunity comes, it's going to man you up. It's going to grow you up no matter what. But if you at least have some idea of foundation of stability or how you can handle it, then you'll be good. Like, I already know, listen, there might be some people who I'm gonna work with who I'm strictly intimidated by. Earlier this year, I was at a music conference with some industry heads. I mean, people that I would like pay just to go have a conversation with. And just me hanging out with one of my friends, I ended up in an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere with about 10 of these guys who albums you probably heard and listened to. It's crazy, but it's like it's like being organized, understanding how to handle people no matter how their temperament is, because usually when you meet somebody that you think is all that in a bag of chips, you get intimidated. You know, you start feeling these things. You start checking like, dang, if my teeth brushed or not? You know what I'm saying? Do I smell good? You know what I mean? You start just thinking of the most dumbest stuff. But it's like, if you get in the habit of dotting your I's, crossing your T's. I mean, if you got trash on your floor, start with picking up the trash up off your floor. Like, it's dumb stuff like that. But to be honest with you, it prepares you for those moments that when somebody walks in the room and now you have that opportunity, you can handle that opportunity. Nothing is worse than knowing you had an opportunity that you could have been ready for and you weren't ready for. That is like the saltiest feeling in the world. Like, you don't go to sleep after that. Trust me, you be up all night washing walls. You be up all night, like Grammarly checking how to do punctuation. Like you be like, dude, like you really make sure that the food's left in the microwave a minute longer so it's really cooked. Like you start really paying attention to things. You know what I'm saying? For real, yo, I'm dead up, yo. I'm dead up, and I'm a nobody. And listen, I am just a nobody, but I'm grateful for the things that I've learned, and I try not to take the things I learned for granted. I try to apply them, you know, even down to file management. If y'all can't label y'all files, all y'all beat makers with all these beats, I mean, if you can't adequately, you know, file management, I work with a lot of artists. And when I open up my hard drives, I used to think like, dang, like 5 years ago, trying to find this track, man, like that would have been a struggle, you know, but being diligent, just naming files, it's being prepared for things like that, you know, and this is why we have a community. This can always be an ongoing conversation. So everybody can learn from each other. Everybody can grow. There's tips that people know that I don't know. There's tips that I know that might be beneficial to somebody else. You got a lot. That's why you got the YouTube channel and you be on here all day, every day, telling us how to be better. So that's my answer.
Thank you. No, you said something really cool, which unlocked not like a different picture in my head. Yeah, they're clowning about the Grammarly one. Is that you know, if we consider ourselves like a processor, like a compressor, for example, or an EQ, it's like the opportunity is the input. And if the processor has a bunch of junk in the way of the circuitry and everything, it won't process the signal to even have an output. So it's like all that junk. When you said what really clicked was when you said picking up the stuff off the floor or organizing your files. All that is really clogging up that machine. And the more clogginess you have, the less opportunity can go through your mess. So that was really powerful what you said. And the first one, what was the first? You elaborated really well. But
I said just treating people right.
Right.
Period.
Oh,
period.
That was really, really real, because I don't think they understand this until they go out into the real world. So I remember seeing numbers on the screen. Only until I did my first live event did I put a spirit behind the name. Like, for example, I don't know what Rich Hunter looks like because I never met him. But because I did this live event and like experienced people in real life and felt their energy, I'm like, wow, I'm really talking to like real people. But it doesn't click until you have that.
Right.
What do you think about? So here's a good question, I guess. Most beat makers are in their home studio like myself. It might be as bare as this one.
I'm in my home. This is my house. I'm home.
Yeah. And they don't have an opportunity. I'll just say opportunity. They don't have a direct awareness, I'll say, of getting next to an artist. So how do they even make those numbers real? Like what's the typical beat maker's way of making a number? Like how do they associate that to a human spirit?
Like how do they,
you know, we have the pandemic.
So basically how do they connect the person behind the number to the face actually, or connect with them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because I remember those days where I was in the bedroom making beats, sending them off to emails. I never really associated the email to I never focused on relationships and conversations. I always thought it was just keep a list of stuff.
That's the secret. That's the secret sauce right there. I'm gonna tell y'all now. It's remember the saying when it's like it's not about what you know, but it's about who you know. Forget that. It's about how you treat who you know. That's really what it is, yo. I'm telling you right now, I found myself in rooms I shouldn't have been in. I'm telling you now, I should not have been in these rooms. It's all because I hit somebody up and I was nice. Some of these people who don't owe you, that you feel like owes you something, or yo, can you check out my beats? Or can you check out my music? Those people, stop asking that. You start being, yo, when's your birthday? What's your cash at? You start saying stuff like, you start being a person, like you care. Like it's crazy, like when I say that, but it works. I found myself in rooms I should not have been in because of things like that. Like literally, like this dude I hooked up linked up with yesterday. It's a musician, and he's really like in the gospel world, but he's like major, and I love every single thing he does. And I hit him up yesterday, and he was like, "Yo, bro, it's my birthday. Can I talk to you later in the week?" I said, "Don't worry about talking to me later in the week. What's your cash at?" And I sent him some birthday money. Now, next time I text him, you think he's going to answer my text, right? So it's things like that. It's being a person first, right? We're all in this industry. We want to make money. We want to be successful. That is a result. That is not the thing you just need to aim at. I'm telling you now. But if you learn to treat people right, if you learn to, especially like in the digital world, it's a little different, but it doesn't take that much effort. Like, I know for me, before I pitch anybody about the services I offer, the beats you can buy from me or anything, I'm like, "Hey, yo, tell me more about your music so I can better understand you." And then I start talking to them about their music. I mean, deep into their music, when they're just like, "Hey, yo, you got any studio time? Hey, yo, you got any beats?" Like, I didn't even pitch them. They're asking me. See, but that's why it works. Now, if you think, now we got to think, y'all, for a second. Over time, that person is going to keep doing it. And if you can do that, if you can compound that by 10 people, it's going to be 10 people who's going to keep doing that. Then if you do some more, it's 20 people. It is not 20 people one time. It's 20 people always doing it. That's what we call building. That's what we call networking. You know what I mean? That's what we call reciprocity. That's what we call running a business. Like, that is what we call it, you know? But it's like, I'm real practical with my approach. You know, it's just real simplicity, treat people right. Hey, yo, I want to talk to you first before anybody steps foot in here. It ain't just about studio time or what can you do for me. It's like, "Hey, yo, what's your number? Let's talk. Let's rap. Let's talk for a second." And half the time, if your personality's right or their personality's right, they're just with it. It don't matter what you could have said. "Yo, I'm charging 5 stacks for this track, yo. 5 stacks." They're like, "All right, bet." I'll be like, they'll say, "Yo, do you take a payment plan?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, let me send you the link." You know what I mean? So it's like, you have to be a person first. We're so quick to jump in somebody's email. I mean, I'm a producer myself, like, and it's crazy how many emails I get a day from other producers. "Hey, yo, you need any beats?" I'm just like, come on, yo. Like, if you would have talked to me one time, like, you would have understood, like, I don't need your beats, you know? It's that type of thing, but it's really about just being personable, talking to people, being yourself. You know what I mean? But some people don't believe in it, you know what I mean? We live in such this era of social media and the internet that, yo, it's only a click of a button. You just learn this strategy. People are not strategies. People are people. You know, people are people. So if you can sell to a person, yo, you got them. Okay, you got them. But if you just see them as a number, they just see you as the person who sees them as a number. That's it. You know what I mean?
You're making a lot of good points. And one point I want to really focus in on is this kid, he was 14 years old. He was on the Producer Grind live stream when me and Dylan were talking on that episode. And he said, like, what's the best way to market or like get known or something like this? And I said, your initial focus should be bond building. It's not like what platform, Facebook, Pinterest, Google ads, YouTube ads, Facebook ads, whatever. It's bond building. You have to build real relationships because there's two sides to it. There's real authority, and then there's like paid kind of illusions. And as a producer community, we understand who's real and who's fake. That's kind of what it comes down to.
Yeah, for sure.
The people who are real just focused on that bonding element. And it doesn't, like, for example, I don't run a lot of Facebook ads. I recently just ran a couple Google ads. I don't run a lot of ads, but my name and business is growing. I could amplify it by running ads, and I hope to do so. I'm just investing in other things. but it's because I focused on building solid authority through the bond building
Principles.
process. That's the
Principles.
That's the reason why
Principles. Yep.
And but so that's one thing for 2021 I want you guys to focus in on. So let's talk about some strategies. Like you said, would you say people aren't strategies? I forget how you worded it.
People are numbers. People aren't numbers, they're people.
Right.
You know?
I have a mastermind. It's full of like 90 people of the top people in the industry. Are you in the mastermind? There's so many people in here, I forget sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna have to invite you to the mastermind. There's other people like me in there. There's there's Gabe from Midi Money. Just the people know. Illmind's in there. Not everybody's super active though, but what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. Cashmere. I know him by his first name, not his stage name. Cashmere's in there. All the cool kids are basically in this group. And while I was building, and I spent 2018 and 2019 just calling people up like, hey, what are your, and then my number one thing would be like, hey, what are your intentions for the year? How can I figure out how to help your intentions? So that's what I usually hop on the phone with people. Hey, let's just talk about what you're trying to do this year and how I can help you do it. Because every case it's a case by case basis. What Produced by Jack needs is different than what my best friend Jacob needs, and that's different than what Sound Oracle needs. You mentioned something important earlier, which is, let's say people aren't prepared for an opportunity. And you talked about networking. So we need to be in a position where even if an opportunity comes my way and I can't fulfill the opportunity, I need to be able to dish that energy to somebody I know, because one, it's going to build reciprocity with the person. And two, it's not going to make you look bad that you turned down an opportunity. So that's why you need to start hitting people up on the phone, at least horizontal, at least like where you're at level wise. It's just like,
for sure.
You ever play video game? I mean, like, you ever grow up on video games?
Yeah, all day. I don't play video games that much anymore, except spades. So I play spades. That's not even a video game. That's the only game I play is spades now. So I sound like an old guy. I'm old. But nah, man, I grew. Yeah, what? Man, I think I had every console.
No, that was funny. I play backgammon.
Nah, I ain't never played no backgammon. But hey, yo, if y'all want to play some spades, man.
That sounds legit. That sounds intense. Some spades.
I might actually hold a spades party, like a real, like legit, all-out spades party.
No, I got to learn these rules. So, what's the last video game you can remember that had ranks like Pokemon, Call of Duty, Halo?
Call of Duty.
So, in Call of Duty, in the beginning of the game, at least online, you don't have the best guns. You have to use whatever the default guns are. And so people try to compete or talk to or collaborate with people who are at level 100 prestige 12, and they're on the beginner, like level 5, the default gun that they give you, like the M16. And you don't so collaboration in that case would be, hey, let's run a game, meaning level 100 prestige guy, level 5 guy who doesn't have all the guns and tactics. You can't even run in the game competitively because you're a weak link now if they're trying to run a play. Because now you don't have the equipment they need to be their better eyes and have all the equipment and all these things. So you have to be on a level where you're going to be beneficial to somebody you want to run with. And that's the main mistake a lot of producers are making. They think they can run with Drake because they made it one beat.
Dude, the crazy thing about what you just said is that you don't want to hear that. Somebody out there don't want to hear what you just said. That's not what you want to hear. I'm be honest with you. You want to hear, if I just link up with this one person, everything's going to happen. The whole game changed. And it's like, nah, you need to go talk to your homie down the street who ain't doing nothing just like you. You know what I'm saying? It's because people don't want to hear that, but it's like, it's so weird. It's kind of like people, especially like in the industry, kind of in the music industry, they kind of like, when I need you in the capacity in which I need you for, then I'll use you. And don't take that as a bad way. Oh, I'm being used. I mean, if you have something that they need, then yeah, you're being used. If you don't, then you're not, But the reality of it is that in the time that you can collaborate with the person next to you, somebody on your level, wherever that is, right? That you spend time understanding the tools that you have, like Call of Duty. I mean, and if y'all actually shoot or something, if y'all never shot a gun, then y'all not going to roll with people who actually shot a gun before. You know what I'm saying? Because people who actually spent time with their tool knows how to use it and knows how to use it and apply it in multiple situations. So it's kind of like when you're trying to collaborate with people who have done it way longer than you and kind of understand a little bit more, you know, you kind of sometimes don't have the right things under your belt yet to provide them what they might be asking of someone, you know? So it's so in that time, I say it like this, like, you know, I've been a producer, but I've been an engineer lately way more than I have been a producer. It's not even close. I mean, not even close. And I listen to the music that I do now versus the music I've done when I first started. It is light years away, but I'm sorry. Not one time from then, well, I can't say till now, thank you, God, but it's like back then I wasn't working with the crazy artists, you know, the great sounding artists. I didn't have somebody who had a name. I didn't have that. I had people who was like, yo, man, I'm trying to drop this mixtape tomorrow. Can I come through tonight and record like 6 tracks and you added them joints? You know what I mean? Like crazy talk, you know? I've worked with people like that for a long period of time. But what it did is sharpen my skills. And now it's like, boom, this year alone, I tell everybody like this. Now, I follow all the COVID-19 protocols to the T, all right? So nobody jump down my neck when I say this, all right? Because I don't play that, okay? I love my life. I love my body. I've had 134 studio sessions this year. 134.
That's nuts.
But I literally thought about I played the music like that I've even worked on at the beginning of the year. And when you're dealing with quantity like that, it forces you to learn faster. It forces you to understand the tools you have at your disposal faster, quicker. If I'm recording somebody or something, my setup has to be set up so that I can record them great, faster. You know what I mean? Better, you know, better quality, upgrade the gear, change the routing of this, you know, put the mic over here, build a whole freaking removable soundproof wall. You know what I mean? Like all of this stuff, like you understand the tools better. So then going back to one of the first things that we said, when you are now collaborating or working with somebody on a different level or up to a different standard than you, it's kind of like, hey, yo, you know what? I may not know everything, but sometimes I've been in the room with people who know what they're doing, and I'd be like, he clicked the wrong button. But I'm not like, because I know. But why do I know? It's because I spent time working with those next to me. I spent time understanding what I'm doing. Like I spent time. So then that one split second of, hey, yo, this ain't working. I'd be like, nah. Or they doing a song. I'd be like, nah, don't do that chord. Do this chord. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're doing, you know, this like, it's understanding what you're doing, you know, with the people who are next to you benefits you so much, but nobody wants to hear that because it seems like it's a means to an end. Oh, they're not going to blow up or they're not going to give me the success that I think that I need out of this thing. Man, nobody wants to hear that. But if you work with the people next to you, yo, you become a beast. You will become a monster. And then at the time that is your time to shine, you're going to really shine because then you'll also have confidence that you want to have had working with people who are above you. Trust me, you want confidence in what you're doing, do not work under people, okay? You won't gain confidence that way. You need to work with people who think you the best thing since the microwave, all right? That's who you need to work with, you know what I mean? And then when you get there, you get there. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No, you're making a lot of good points, and I want to reinforce what you're saying because most people are, it's kind of like me. Like I'm trying to get abs, but I don't want to eat right. You know, I don't want to do the 1,000 sit-ups a day that I have to do. I don't want to, what else? You walk however many miles I have to walk. And I just got to realize, like, if I want this image of myself, I just have to do the in-between stuff to get there. But sometimes we just get in our, I think it's called, what is it called? Wishful identification. So we see, you know, the result that we want, and then we imagine ourselves being that thing, but then we stop focusing on that thing. Okay, here's what happens in short. This is why I teach a lot of people. So this is a little secret. And I'll get into a real life example. So to manifest, we'll call it manifest, or I don't know the religious words for manifesting. Is that a biblical word, or is that more new age manifest?
Is new age biblical? I guess.
Biblical?
Yeah, I mean, everybody uses that word manifest. Man, I mean, we ain't gonna get religious in here, but
to translate the invisible spiritual world, we'll call it.
Basically the things you don't see into what you see. Okay.
See, there's a process. So it spells out tier. So it's thought, and then you emotionalize the thought, and then you take action on the thought, and then you get a result. Like you mentioned, the results at the end. We focus on a different starting point. Everybody wants that result, but we're not doing the T part. We're not doing the thought part, the emotionalized part, the action part to get to the result. And what was I going to say about the thoughts? When we have wishful identification, we don't focus on it enough to emotionalize what we're trying to become. And your body works off of chemical reactions. Like the way I can move is because chemicals are moving around. Right. So like literally, in order for your body to move, you have to have an affinity for something. You have to have a draw towards something. And so a lot of people just keep their eye off the ball, so to speak. What was I going to get into? You mentioned the result was they wanted success. What was the thing you said they wanted?
Yeah. If like people want success, or they want to work with somebody who's on a different level than them.
Oh, work with people who are on a different level. So here's a real life story real quick. And then I'll get back to the 2021 game plan for producers.
Game plan.
Called the Producer Playbook. I recently did a deal with Razor again. So for those who don't know, I'm Game from busyworksbeats.com. We've trained over 700,000 producers around the world. And I've worked with the top companies from Universal Audio, Razor. I keep forgetting the name Razor in there, but Universal Audio, Image Line, who made FL, Arturia, Waves, Sweetwater, blah, 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 blah. A lot of companies. Audio Technica, a lot of cool companies. Sure, even. And I went to do it. Okay, so I did a deal 2 years ago, 2017 and 2018 with Razor. And along, I'm talking a lot. There's a marketing campaign with Metro Boomin, Murder Beats, Sunny Digital, and Dead Mouse was on there, and a couple other like top name people. And so we did a marketing campaign to sell more laptops and make them cool, basically. So we did that for 2 years. I was on there for 2 years, 2017, 2018. And the other guys were only on there for 1 year. So now I'm not the glamorous guy. I'm not the guy everybody wants to be. So they don't really associate that achievement to like what success really is. They define success differently to them. And my point is, I went to do a Razor play this year, like I pitched them in January or like February on another campaign. And it took like 7 months, 9 months to actually actualize that deal. So we're doing a new deal with Razor. And I went to help the marketing campaign by picking out different creators who would be better suited for this campaign. And I had somebody, I'm not going to mention names, it's not a shaming, but I had somebody who was on the top of the list, but because they weren't, I'll just say they weren't prepared, so to speak, you know, that opportunity kind of passed by just because they weren't really fully prepared. Right. And it's like they were top of the mind. They were the person I would have picked. And, you know, the stuff just didn't line up. So it ends up being a different roster for this year. But it just all ties together. Like your network, like the mastermind I'm going to invite you to before I forget, because I will forget. Let me invite you to it real quick. And like in there, the whole point of the network is to figure out creative way. Like I know I'm talking a lot, but what people will realize is that there's value in knowing people. Like, let's say I just sent you that link. Okay, so let's say there's, let's come up with a fake scenario. Like you need a blank. What do you need? Just make up like a project or a product or something that you want to create.
Something I want to create.
Or even a real product.
Yeah, I tell y'all what I want to create. I want to create a virtual way that you can have a studio session with somebody else, but like studio quality,
Okay.
like studio but virtual. Like that's what I want. So I don't know the name for that.
Oh yeah, there's a company who makes a plugin that goes in your Pro Tools thing, and it feeds them like real high quality audio. However, so in the group, what I would do is, okay, Keef has this idea. It's a competitive idea. It's really smart. We can either gather as a group to invest in this idea energy wise. It could be money wise. It could be like resources wise. It could be distribution wise. Or I can say, hey, he needs this, this, and this. We need a project manager. We need software teams. Hey, Josh, can you hook him up with some resources? So it's like who you know becomes an asset. Does that make sense? So like I might not be able to code the plugin or whatever that you need to do this. I might just know somebody, and just off the strength of me knowing the other person, that adds value to you. It adds value to them because they're trying to continue what they're doing. And now it becomes,
Yep.
I just become a liaison. What I'm trying to say is power in being a liaison.
One thing I did last year, and I kind of took it to a different level and did it differently, subconsciously. But I started like in my phone, I made a group called my 30 network. I don't know why I called it that, but that's why I called it. And you have different categories of people, right? That for the business or whatever you're trying to grow, whatever you're trying to do, you have different categories, right? So like 6 different categories, but in each category, you have 5 people for that thing. So if you know you need a photographer, you have 5 photographers in your phone. If you know you need a videographer, you have 5 videographers in your phone, 5 graphic designers in your phone, 5 lawyers in your phone, 5 accountants in your phone, 5 A&R reps in your phone, 5. But then they create your network. So when you look at the biggest picture, when you need something or when somebody else needs something, you easily have a resource of the people who you can either pitch or utilize to your advantage as well. So then you're never lost in the dark, or you always know to whom you need to ask what information to help you out in any situation that you're in. That's one thing I did before. Now I done took it to a whole nother level. I have this whole database now that everybody who does anything for me, I know exactly what you do, your number, your email address, your phone number, your website, your fax number, like everything, every detail, even like what you do. But if you can do that, and we're talking about practical things for people going into 2021, that's one thing that you can do is really identify who you do know. Because I promise you, out of everybody in your phone book, half of y'all not even utilizing 10% of it. 10%. I tell people like this: do not grab my number if you're not going to use it. Don't grab my number. If I can't hit you up or you can't hit me up, then why'd you even ask for my number? You know what I mean? And that's the reality of it. But it's like if you have people in your phone, you can utilize them at the times that you need to. Man, this is I'm gonna write this down. I need to create a PDF. We need to create a downloadable.
You said something really important, and this reminded me of back. Yeah, we need to create a downloadable report from this conversation. Yeah. Something that you guys need to do at home. Let me see how many people are even in here so I could really be militant about what I'm about to say. We got 78 good folks in here. All 78 of you guys need to go through your phone tonight, like make it a priority tonight, and literally go in your contacts and say, why do I have this person here? Now, whenever you ask the question why, you dig into intentions. Like, why am I about to do this thing? Why am I buying this thing? Why? And you'll realize that the majority of the people on your phone are just there to help you try and get a girl that swerved you, or just get a girl in general. And that you have to detach from like the getting girl phase, like, because girls don't care about you when you're just trying to get girls. They care about you when you have something going on. So just realize that if you want to get a girl, you actually have to create something that's going on in your life. So take out all those numbers that people you don't, like Keef said, is people you don't text. And don't even offer your number. Like, I know I'm kind of saying behind the scenes stuff here, but I counsel a lot of folks, not like mainstream folks, but people who have something going on. And not the number one thing, the recent thing that I've seen is they're giving themselves out to too many people. They give too many people access to themselves. And then they end up wasting time and energy on all this stuff that doesn't result into anything that they want. And it makes them miserable. So you guys have to literally delete like numbers from people who are in your high school. Now, how many friends from high school or college do you still actively communicate with?
Actively, maybe a good from high school and college put together, maybe 3, 4.
That's maybe double or triple for what I even.
Yeah, that's a maybe. It's amazing. It's like a 2 and 2 possibles, you know.
And that we have to realize, okay, I'll because you said this in a different way. You said like people can call on people for like a role that they need fulfilled. So if you think about it as a pyramid, it just makes a lot more sense. At the top of the pyramid is the common interest. So let's say there's a pyramid under Jay-Z or whatever. Jay-Z's brand is the common interest of everybody who's connected to Jay-Z. So in that umbrella of things, what does Jay-Z's machine need to work? It needs producers, artists, songwriters, blah, 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 all the way down the line. So it's different layers to the pyramid. There's Jay-Z at the top, who represents everybody underneath, which has that same interest, is his self-interest in propelling the brand. Then you have his managers, or people who are trusted underneath him, who manage all the other components underneath him. So when you're at the top of your brand, you need to have a network of, I'll just call them managers, so it makes more sense for now. You need to have a network of managers who you trust, who can oversee other parts of the world. Like it's not my job to figure out the best coder, the best, like, does he know Java? Does he know C++? Does he know Python? Does he know, that's not my job. My job is to have Josh, who's underneath me, take care of those components. And then I have, customer support team, which ironically enough, just put a bulletin to my Slack account. And she takes care of the components of my customer support team. But I need software, customer support, content creation on the mid layer to lift up the BusyWorks Beats brand. So when you start organizing your mind like a pyramid, it just makes so much more sense where you fit. Like, are you just a component to somebody's pyramid, or are you a part of their managerial, like?
And for the people who don't have, or you say you can't find people to help you out with what you got going on, you can easily find somebody on Instagram. Matter of fact, my main photographer and videographer that I use, she hit me up on Instagram out of the blue and was like, yo, I'll come to you for free and all this other stuff. Gave her a shot. That was that. Instagram, works. If you can't find somebody on Instagram, or you're not on Instagram or whatever, you can go to Fiverr.com and you can hit somebody up like, yo, can I put you on retainer and work for me? And they will say, yeah, of course. Like, that's what they do, but it's easy to find the people. If you're looking for what you really need, you can find what you really need if that's really what you're looking for. But the thing is, like you said, I think we play ourselves. I think a lot of people play themselves, and it's kind of the facade of, oh, I'm grinding, or I'm getting stuff done, or I have the right people in place, but your judgment is cloudy a little bit. And a lot of that has to do with, like you said, how many people on your phone? Who are you talking to every day? Why are you still stuck in get the girl mode? You know what I'm saying? Like me, for my mental health, I haven't been on social media for months. I haven't been on social media for months. And I have been able to do things I would not have ever imagined for me to do. I have talked to some people I never would have ever spoke to a day in my life, done things I never would have done. I mean, and it's crazy because now I'm in a spot where I'm surrounded by people who do things that are like-minded, or they do things that I need to. So my focus is all on my music, my business, the things I got going on. And it's not focused on, hey, yo, you see Shorty over there? Hey, yo, I dare you, go say something to Shorty. You know what I'm saying? See what she say. Like, nah, like none of that. No foolishness. Like, I haven't partaked in any foolishness all of this year. You know what I mean? Like, But if you can separate yourself, you can think clearly, you can get the right people in place around you to help you, whether it's, networking together or people supporting your vision, solely or whatever. But it's if you separate yourself, you uncloud the judgment, you unplug yourself from certain people, you get your head straight. Oh man. If you lock yourself up and you make beats and stuff all day, every day, but if you start treating people like, every single person, I tell every artist this, and now this is free for all y'all. Every single person you talk to about your music or their music, you do not leave without either their phone number or their email address. You're welcome. But if you just spend time making beats all day and you're contacting people, treating people good here and there, give it a couple months, give it a year, and look back at who's surrounding you. Look back at who you're working with and the type of things that you are putting out, and it will blow your mind. But some people, I feel like that's why I feel like we have a facade though, because some people's like, nah, man, I need to jump on Instagram, need to put out another video of the same thing that I've been doing, so they know I'm still doing it. Like I and me not being on social media, I really care less about who thinks what about me or who thinks what about a picture or if I have something to give anybody. But I literally been focusing on my development and the people around me. And then I look at the people around me, I'll be like, dang, how did I get in this room? How did I get in this? But it's that type of thing, unplugging yourself, being focused about what you really want. It's 2020. I should not have had the success that I've had with, 2020, the way how it happened. But it's being focused about really what you want and looking at who's around you. Because the top, they say the top 5 people who you talk to all the time or every day, that's like who you are. That shows you like who you are, the things you like, all of that type of stuff. So, I mean, I used to play ball all the time back in the day. Now I'm a fat pack. But like, if that's all y'all want to do all day is play ball, you know what I'm saying? Then guess what? You a ball player. Stop. And you make beats on, you do a little music thing, but you play ball. That's what you do, But if you want to change the narrative, you'll focus more on what you really, trying to accomplish. And you go play ball on Saturday. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's like a different thinking.
Right. And I want to reinforce this, and just maybe the pyramid analogy was a little advanced. So people in the chat, I want to make sure they get it. And it ties into what you just said. We all have, wherever we focus our energy and our time.
He said he got to be from Philly, yo. My fault. Yeah, I'm from Philadelphia. Yeah, that's funny as crap. My fault. I ain't never been on live with y'all, man. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say everything is like the top 5 people you said. You have a common interest with those top 5 people, and so everybody you surround yourself with has some common interest. Like that's why I asked you about the high school friends and the college friends, for people at home to analyze that as well. It's because the people in your contact list, you had a common interest back in high school, which was, okay, our teacher is Miss McGlinnicklin or whatever. And we had, our common interest was passing that class. Okay, you're out of that class. You have no more common interest unless you bonded outside of that thing. So you need to detach from those things.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
So why are you here, basically?
Yeah, everything has to serve you, or else you're going to be leaving holes mentally and emotionally in yourself. Like you said, when you hopped off of social media, I know that feeling. I tried to do it more, but it feels like you're like, wow, like I'm doing stuff. I'm reading. Like reading's fun. What did you do? Like, how do you let people know that you exist, I guess, outside of social media? Or is it just word of mouth?
Man, I'll be honest with you. If that's the battle, that's the battle. That's the battle sometimes. Now, other than that, like I'm a very sociable guy. Like you can tell my attitude and stuff like that. If like I'll hit the fellas up in a heartbeat, like, hey, yo, wings, we having wings and pizza tonight, football. They all coming over. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like I only care about the people who care, I guess, about me more so than not worrying about the people who really don't care about you. They're just there to experience you. It's like I took away some of the experiences. Like, nah, now you gotta pay for that. It's like, nah, okay, cool. Like, you want to experience? All right, cool. You gotta pay for that. All right, you know what I mean, or that type thing. Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna be off social media for whatever, but we live in such an age where people feel like I owe people who don't care about me something. I owe them this post. I owe them this picture. Like, come on. If you want to look at yourself, I mean, just take the picture, go to your gallery app and your photos app and look at it. You're welcome. You know, but it's like we live in a society to where we feel like we gotta put on, you know, you know, like we buy things that we don't need to impress people we don't know, then we go broke trying to look rich. Like that type of thing. Like I'm like no time at all for that. You know what I'm saying? It's more so like being concentrated on the things that I want, but I'm being sociable. You know what I mean? I'm kicking it with whoever I need to kick it with at the time that we need to kick it, you know, but I'm not out here just like, hey y'all, I'm living, just in case you were wondering. Oh, you weren't? Okay, well, I just wanted to tell you anyway. You know what I'm saying? Carry on. Like, you know, like just really like off of that. You know what I'm saying? Really off of that. Just focus right now. It's 2020. Hit everybody hard right in the front of their mouth. You know, it's just like focused. The 2020 should have just been the year. Everybody should just been focused, man. You ain't had nothing else better to do but to shake the foundation of what you built, you know, and check to make sure the studs are in place and make sure, like, is this really the building I want to build or not? You know what I mean? I feel like this really was that year. Like you said, you started double checking stuff, make sure stuff, you started making sure like, is this a quarter inch drywall or 2/4 inch drywall? Like you start like checking stuff that don't matter, but matters if, you know, it mattered. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff. Like it's about really making sure, like, through the entirety of what your situation is and what you got going on, make sure that you solid. That's all I was trying to do. That's all I keep trying to do. So I'm actually loving the living under a rock right now. I'm loving it. I love it. Like me seeing all these people on live, I'm like, oh my God. Like, yes. Like,
that's the fun part is detaching. It does really, you're in it, so maybe you don't see from the outside in, but you're right. Detaching from outside things that can influence your mood is a power move. Like alpha men or people who lead themselves, they're not moved by an outside source.
When was the last time you saw Jay-Z on Instagram? I'll wait. Like, I'm not saying not to be on it, but when was the last time? You know what I'm saying? It's the reality of it.
Going back real quick, just to tie the knot, is that this is why I said earlier, people should focus on that bond building, because bond building is how you increase on in that pyramid of that common interest. So Jay-Z is that top of the interest chart. And how do we facilitate Jay-Z being a bigger pyramid so that the ceiling goes higher? He's worth, how much is Jay-Z worth? Billion? There's two.
Something B.
Something B.
I don't. After that, you just lost me.
He's worth 2 billion. So he's like, okay, I want to be in that 2 billion economy. Where do I fit in this economy? I'm not close to Jay-Z, so I'm not near the top of the pyramid. I'm not his trusted people like Kevin Lyles or I don't even know Jay-Z's a Maul from the Joe Budden podcast or anything. You know, I'm way down at the bottom of the pyramid. I'm just a contributor to song, and the song goes to the A&R. The A&R goes to his friend, and his friend goes to him. So you have to know where you fit on that pyramid. And bond building helps you escalate in different economies. But people, they just don't value bond building because they're looking at numbers and all the stuff you mentioned that people, they show off stuff just to impress the girl who doesn't care about them. So.
And credit to you though too. I mean, because it's in this digital age, it's hard to teach people to be a person. It's hard to teach people to, hey, did you check on them today? Did you text them? Like, it's easy to just set a reminder. I do it all the time. Set a reminder on my calendar, on my phone, you can find apps that'll do it for you. Hey, yo, check on so-and-so. Text this person out of the blue. That will do more for you than, hey, yo, do you got something for me today? That would do way more for you than asking somebody for a handout. It would do in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? So like credit to you, because like people don't, man, it's all this clickbaitish stuff. You mean get on, do this, do that, and it's like, come on, yo. It's like, come on. To be honest with you, nah.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about 2021. What was on your list? Because I want to make sure I'm tackling what you wanted to talk about. But you mentioned
nah, brother. Oh, okay. No, so we
because you're right.
Okay. Okay, so look, after almost every I do got so two things. So for one thing I had was, okay, cool. So what advice do you have to people, right, who want to become a household name, right? Because this is something, whether you want to pat yourself on the back or not, but people know that if they need help in a specific area, they know exactly to go to you. They know exactly where to go to. So how do you make yourself a either like a household name or top of mind or the go-to, or are you even concerned about that? Are you even concerned about people treating you as the resource?
Good question. I hope to be a resource. I think Kevin Samuels said this a lot better. He said, the good qualities of a high value man are not only that he makes a lot of money, but he has to have a good character and he has to have utilization or something like that, meaning that people should be able to use him to get a result. So I consider that a trait of a successful type of person is I expect people to use me. Like, I hope you use me, because what else are we engaging for? Like, what's the transaction for? So real quick, when I say ice cream, I'll let the chat participate now that we're talking about humans, but I like to be locked in with you and then I talk to the chat. But when I say ice cream, what are two words that come to your brain?
Ice cream, my freezer upstairs, and the other word, cone, like cone, but like the real, what's the cone, like the waffle cone type ice cream joints.
That's interesting. Okay, that's very, very interesting. I want to hear what the chat says. Tell me what you guys think of when I say ice cream. Now, your brain, the way the brain works is that it's like Google. But the good part is that everybody's brain is like an individual Google. So it's not like one universal Google throughout everybody's brain until we're all programmed to be one. But until then, if I say ice cream, you say freeze your freezer because you've experienced it, and you said a waffle cone. When I think ice cream, I think Ben and Jerry's and vanilla or something like that. Like, I think something different. Two images pop up that are completely different. The chat says they think Tyga. Does Tyga have a song called Ice Cream? I don't know what that means. Wu-Tang? Oh, Cream. Okay, Wu-Tang Cream.
Oh, okay.
Go for World War III. You guys are dismal with your answers here. Somebody said you scream. Okay. But
okay.
My point is that so when you said your freezer upstairs, chances are the reason why it's the number one result in your Google search is because it had the most impressions onto you. You saw it the most. You walk by your freezer every day, I hope, to get food. So you literally engage with that thing thousands and thousands of times.
Right.
Where in the waffle cone, that's probably the most frequent thing that you've either seen in advertisements or you bought an experience for yourself, or you had a childhood where you experienced that specific image. So when I experience ice cream, I like the Ben and Jerry's flavors. So I experience that when I go into the store, or I experience vanilla because I like vanilla and I see it advertised all the time. I don't go for chocolate, strawberry, and all the weird flavors. And so my point is that everybody's subconscious mind works off of images. So if I say a certain word, your brain pulls up 1 to 2 images. And that's why I wear a suit so much. And when I was campaigning for the producer president, I couldn't be live anymore. So wearing a suit, I'm not wearing a suit right now. It doesn't make sense to wear a suit at home in a studio. It doesn't make any sense. But that was my thing. The reason why I wore a suit is because as a common consensus about what a suit represents, you think presidential and you think somebody you can trust.
Yeah.
So if I want to take on those traits, I need to present myself in that image. Like, I think the Bible even talks about this. We're created in the image of the creator.
Right.
So we have to put that shell on for our avatar. What's up, Celeste? I don't even know who that is, but shout out to the female in here. We got to represent the females. There are only 4% girls on this channel. So we got to shout them out when we can. But that's why I wore a suit, to reinforce trust. And I was the Google search for people's brains. So if they said FL Studio, who pulled up in their Google search of their brain? Me, because I had the most impressions on their subconscious mind. I had thousands of videos. So even if they searched up other people, at the end of that video, they would see mine. And they would see it thousands and thousands of times. So they're like, oh, he must be the authority of FL Studio music production tutorials. And so that's how I got in those rooms with Razor, again, the $1 billion company Razor. Got in a room, like you said, that point where you're like, how am I in this room with top producers who had like 10 billion something streams combined and work with all the top people. And I had to realize that, I represented some image, and that's why people pass me deals, because I'm reinforcing that belief. So for example, when I wear that suit, I'm reinforcing presidential, trusted. When my name is Busy Works Beats. So you think Busy Works, somebody who's busy, active. People who are active are more likely to get, opportunities. Like they say, give your opportunity to a busy man and he'll get it done. So, I thought the camera froze. I was like, you there? You were just like,
nah.
I literally thought it froze.
I did that to myself earlier. I'm like,
yeah. I was like, did it freeze? And yeah. And what else? I'm trying to think of another reason. So those are really the two main things, but it comes down to how the brain works. So again, if you think of a word, your brain shoots the thought inside of your brain and it tingles and it picks out, goes down a certain neural pathway and it picks out what's called a neuronal tree. So the way our brain is structured is that it's a tree of neurons. Okay. I don't have my hand is looking. And when I say ice cream, your brain shoots a signal from your ears to your brain that says ice cream, zap, and it goes to that neuronal tree, that neuronal pathway. And it picks up the first branch and the second branch. Right. So when I said ice cream, you said freezer and waffle cone. After that point, you really don't, you have to really try hard to get to those other thoughts. It's because the neuronal pathway is not being reinforced. And the brain works off of the path of least resistance. So whatever we constantly reinforce with impressions and seeing something over and over and over and over again, and the way we continue to think, it carves a pathway in our brain. And so the signal that's coming in our ear is just going to go down the path of least resistance. It's not going to try and go down these other pathways like smaller roads or dirt roads. It's going to go down the main highway that's paved and clean and everything else. Good. And so we have to consciously say, what is the image that represents a result that we want? So if I want people's trust, I have to present an image that ties to that. So I presented an image of suit. And a suit represents, to the majority of people, trust, presidential. So that's what we have to choose for ourselves. Like, who do we want to be? What do we want to project out into the world? Because ultimately, people don't know us for who we are. They know us by the image. So that's what branding really is about subconscious imagery. Like, I'll keep it basic, but that's how we're going to open those doors for opportunities and different things. Sorry.
That you said some sauce right there, because sometimes it's not about how good you are or if you're like the best or whatever. Sometimes it's about, did you leave the best impression? Were you the easiest for somebody to remember you by? Man, like, believe me, trust me, because it's not that deep. And a lot of stuff, we can jump down rabbit holes with stuff sometimes, and sometimes shake their hand, like like, you know what I mean?
I forgot to mention two points. One is that the reason we trust and love our parents is because they served us the most impressions, and by impression, I literally mean when you see something, when you see an image, is it being stamped onto your brain and created in a neuronal pathway so that it's default. And I think I asked my mom this. Funny enough, but there was a guy who was interested in her back in the day, and she said he was annoying at the time. Man. But he ended up getting her because he was consistently creating those impressions for her. Thanks. So she just saw him more and more and more, his messages, his face, he was here, he was there. And so all that combined ties into oxytocin and the bonding that we talked about. How do you bond with people? You need to create a love that's like you're a parent to a child. And the way a mother does that is the oxytocin that's given off during the 9 months of development. So that's why the mother is more attached to a kid than the father, because the father wasn't exchanging chemicals, hormones, bonding chemicals with the kid.
Right.
Whereas the mother was doing that for 9 months straight. And these are the keys to the keys. These are the keys to, bonding and trust.
No pun intended.
Yeah, a little product placement. You got your own plug. That's dope. You have any more, or is that the only one?
I'll send you the link, brother.
Okay. You got a link? Okay. Oh, yeah. Where should I tell people to investigate your style more?
Oh, man. Long story short, KeefKeyz.com. KeefKeyz.com. You can go there, find anything, everything that you need to know about me. That will take you anywhere, everywhere you want to go. Period.
Gotcha. I linked you in the chat. In 2021, so then I'm going to get back to you about this. So what do you think producers are doing that is actually holding them back, but they think is productive in 2021 specifically? Going into
man. Yeah, I swear. I had to make sure I wasn't screen sharing my screen because I'm like reading my note. And something that's holding them back. I really do feel like this. I feel like producers as well as anyone else, they fall into the rabbit hole traps of the next thing, right? So every producer wants to be successful. I mean, all of them had different goals at certain, points of their producing career or wherever they're at. Certain goals, I want to hit this type of numbers. I want to sell this many beats. I want to get a placement with this person. I want to be here. So into regards with the goals that I just said, there are certain ways that other people have already made known that, hey, this works, right? But what we tend to do is we tend to digest that as in Bible, like that is the way. He said to cut on the computer first. I'm going to cut the computer on first. Like that's, what I mean? It's like, and is he wrong for cutting it on first? No, he's not. But the fact that you think that that's the only way to get your flow started, to get the results you want to get is to cut it on first, like that's when you're playing yourself. And sometimes I feel like producers now, because of all the major shifts that we happen, because beat stores and stuff like that, even that word, in itself changes so much now. It never was like this before. Now it's like, hey, your beat store works like this. Hey, now it works like this. And hey, but I feel like we fall so much into the systematic ways that other people have deemed to us as the right way to do it. And not to say that it's not the right way to do it, but that's not the only way. So I feel like producers, they fall into the Google, YouTube algorithm searches, right? Because they are the ones who's going to search more on how to do something than to actually do it. So that's what I feel like a lot of producers are doing. Even especially like when it comes to like I said earlier, this is a big thing, the facade thing. Instead of just posting your if you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to nobody. Instead of just posting just what you're doing and your beats all day, thinking that you are market. Now it's a tool, so don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I understand Instagram, I understand social media, but it's a tool. It shouldn't be the trap that you're stuck in doing. So it's like, instead of just doing all of that type of stuff, actually, submit your music to, who would actually get on your music? An artist would, right? Submit it to an artist. Or how about the person whose job is to look for things for artists, or the A&R? Or how about you submit, those type of practical things. I'm not saying that this stuff doesn't work, but hey, if every fish is swimming in the sea, you know what I'm saying? You're in the same sea with another fish doing the same thing that fish is doing. to other fish. You know, you would never take your car to the car dealership to tell the car dealer, hey, I got 365 horsepower under this bad boy. You see the rims? You see, like, nah, because that's what they do. So it's like you kind of take what you do to the same people who do the same thing that you're trying to do, you know, rather than taking it to the people who really benefit from it. You know what I mean? I will spend days of sending emails, and just interacting with people and different artists, you know, rather than just the facade of, hey, I need for people to see what I'm doing. Hey, you see my lights? My lights change colors. That means I'm doing something. Nah, forget that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's what an Instagram picture subconsciously does, right? You see my lights? My studio got lights. Oh man, his studio got lights. Dang, like, nah, it's not. It's like, yo, if you don't send your music to an artist real quick. So that's what I feel like. I feel like that we live in a little facade and stuff. Like, and like I said, this ain't for me. This for the artists. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we just gotta do stuff that benefits the people who are really trying to serve. You used that word in our last episode. Serve, our last conversation, the word serve, you know, and not just do things for GP and just for the fact that we just need people to see us and be all vain and feel like hype ourselves up and gas ourselves up to feel like we're actually doing something. If you keep it funky, stop playing with yourself. You know what I mean? You're doing whatever you're doing, but you're not doing more than what you're portraying. So don't fake it until you make it. You know what I mean? Just do different work. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. And a good definition of marketing is to match your message with the proper receiver. So what I'm hearing from kind of everything you said, 2020 was the year of the facade being broken. And the majority of people in general in business and marketing, they spend marketing dollars where, like, okay, I'm trying to think of an example. What's a good romantic example? Let's say there's a girl who doesn't really like you like that, but you keep sending her text messages, you keep buying her gifts, you keep taking her out or like giving her stuff. I don't even know what people do.
He too soft. I don't like him.
Yeah,
something wrong with him. Well, I heard some stories about some of y'all. I heard some stories.
Y'all, and she never had the receptor for you in the first place. So like in her belief system, the way a receptor is created is that the inside of a cell needs to benefit from the thing that is coming from the outside of the cell. So if you think about like a cell in your body, you have the subconscious mind, which is like the inside of a cell where your DNA is. And then you have a cell barrier or like a cell wall. And that's the thing that keeps stuff from coming in. So if people want something, which is their subconscious mind, but they don't have what's called a receptor to even let your message in, no matter how hard you try to get in the cell, you can't because they don't have a built-in receptor. So long story short, what I'm saying is they have to believe and want and desire and have an inner image that matches the message that you're trying to give them. And if they don't have that receptor, you're wasting your time, your energy, your marketing dollars.
Right.
And that's usually what happens. It's like you said earlier, like you don't want people pitching you beats in your email. That means you don't have a receptor for beats. Right. You're not looking for beats. That doesn't benefit your cell, your inner system. Doesn't benefit where you're trying to go. So you don't have a receptor that's looking to receive beats. Whereas, you might have a receptor for like talent, like musical artists, talented people, distribution companies, whatever. You said film people. So that's the biggest problem is we're trying to shove something where there's no hole, like, and we're just beating up against the wall for no, you know what I mean? Trying to punch a hole in the wall, and it's a concrete wall. You're not going to punch a hole in a concrete wall. I think that's a huge mistake people are making. 2020.
So look, I got a question for you though. I got a question for you.
John's funny.
What advice do you have, right, to artists who are trying to work with the right producer? Not the producer trying to work with the artist, because this is actually going to help a lot of producers out. If you can think like the opposing party, you can communicate with them differently. So what advice would you give to those artists who are like, okay, yeah, but I mean, like, there's so many people on BeatStars though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you help those artists?
Yeah, good question. This is a fun exercise. I'll tell you the frustrations that I've heard from artists, specifically female artists. They feel like the guy producers are only working with them because they can get some kind of physical thing out of it. They don't believe that you're there for like actual work.
Yep.
Another obstacle, we call it, or objection, we call it, is artists feel like they deserve, whether it's rational or not, they feel like they deserve Metro Boomin quality for Fiverr prices. And that's just not going to change. Like, everybody wants the highest quality for the lowest price. That's why Walmart exists, Target. So that's going to be an objection that you have to overcome. You have to either present that you are high value, or you need to let them know that, you know, even though you're not the high value thing, the price is where it should. Like, you need to let them know what's 0 to 100. Most people are either 0 or 100. There's no grayscale.
That's good.
And you have to present yourself either in the grayscale and use contrast to let people know what that is, or you say my price is my price, and they're either going to take that risk or not.
Right.
You said as an artist, I just want to make sure I'm not answering the question in the wrong path. You said as an artist, what do I want? Okay, and a good producer. Another one is that's a good question. Most artists, this is counterintuitive. They want to actually be in the creative process. They don't want like a pre-made thing most of the time. Now they'll settle for that, but they want to be like, okay, I'll tell you. I guess as a musician, you probably have more experience with this, but I refuse to do this. Like, because I just hate being, when I'm in my studio, it's my intention, period. Anybody who comes in that studio, they're illustrating my intention. I'm not illustrating somebody else's intention. Meaning, like, if they come into my studio and they're telling me to do the kick this way, I'll take some advice, but like, they're trying to become the producer, so to speak.
Wow, this is crazy. All right. So my mentor, he's a big wig. I won't mention his name because I ain't ask him if I could. So, but he believes like in the same exact philosophy as you are. He'll say, like, and he works with a lot of top artists, and he'd be like, yo, some of these artists think they're the boss, but really, I'm the boss. Okay, I get it. You like your little verse, right? Scratch that. That's trash. I'm the boss. You know, that's his like mentality. This is, I run this. Okay, I run this. You know, so for me, I'm opposite to a degree, in a caveat. Yeah, okay, because I'm a musician, I'm a producer. I spent the time learning this craft, okay? Like, I am a keyboard player. I'm do that. So like, when somebody wants a beat real quick, or a singer comes in here, like, I can just instantly by ear, okay, cool. This is what we're going to do. Boom, 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 boom. These are the chords. All right, okay, cool. Oh, I like that. Okay, but at that point, don't tell me to change the chords that you don't know how to play. Or don't tell me to do the thing that you don't know how to do, that you hire me to do, but you just want to tell me what to do. I mean, to a degree. I say to a degree because I say it like this. I literally say this to all my artists. This is your music. I'm here to help. If I say lightning, you say thunder, there's going to be thunder in the soundtrack. That's what I tell them. I'll be like, now I make some hard suggestions like, yo, nah, I don't think we should do that. They'll be like, okay, I'm just saying it because you should consider this happening if you do that. Well, I want this. Okay, cool. That's what you're going to get because you're going to pay me. I'm going to get my 5-star reviews, okay? You're not about to mess up my review. Yeah. Yes. But if I'm in charge of a project, though, there's different artists. There's people who come in here who just want me to do what you ask me to do, and I do it. You sound good, man. Go get them. You know what I mean? But then there's some artists who actually, hey, yo, Keef, keep it real with me. I need you to take over. I want to make this a real thing, a real project. I need your expertise. I'm giving you free reign. Do what you do. At that point, you can't tell me how to do my job. You can't tell me how to, and that's like you said, I know what I'm worth. I know the things I know, and I know what I don't know, and I act accordingly. So I'm not going to act like I know more, and I'm darn sure not going to act like I know less just to compensate for an ego. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really about, man, I'm rambling. Let me not even go ahead, brother.
I put like a paragraph in the chat. It looked like a book that they put in the chat. I was just seeing
who that?
I wasn't
What
gonna read
you
it.
saying?
Can't read it, but
Yeah,
it's DJ Wraith. I just wanted to see what it was. You're saying a lot. So at the end of the day, though, your intention, it seems, is to have them walk away with the song that they want. So ultimately, it is your intention. It's just
cool,
in a higher level. Now, for me, my studio isn't built for people to walk away with the song, so it's just a different purpose.
Right now, there's a bunch of collaborated projects that I work on with a lot of different artists, or that I'm in charge of, or that I am a part of, but when we come here, okay, guys, I'm going to let you know it was a great time last week at the other studio. We did a great job. You guys sound good. Y'all killed it. But when we come here, yeah, it's what I intend to get done. What's going to get done.
and you said a lot, because people will now, when you guys get into more studio sessions, people will start to, I guess, check your expertise. Like they'll be like, I don't want this much auto-tune, but they don't understand what they sound like without it. And they don't understand that like hearing themselves without it is more demotivating than hearing themselves through it, but it's not exactly what
oh my God.
So it's like small stuff like that.
Hey, artists, if you swear by auto-tune, grab an app, watch a YouTube video that teaches you keys of songs, that teaches you notes, that teaches you even how to learn by ear. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Get it together subconsciously in your head. So you can listen to yourself without the auto-tune and with it. I know sometimes, I sound too robotic-y. Man, but if I turn this off, brother, yeah. Jesus, man, that's what they say. That's the language. You got me sounding robotic-y. I'm like, nah, don't believe me. That's not me.
Right. And that's a problem that we have to solve amicably, because that can cause a lot of tension. And people are like, well, they're not listening. I said less auto-tune, but then you're spending 2 hours of the time trying to show them that ultimately you're going to lead to the same result. So at some point, I'm glad you said this, your expertise has to become the leader. And I guess that's what separates, we'll just say it this way, a beat maker from a producer.
Oh my God, dude, are you freaking, I'm closing this. I feel like what? I wrote that down because I thought of that. Like, people, the word producer, like, what is that? I mean, but what is it? Like, can you, somebody who's watching, can you define what a producer is? Or are you a beat maker? And there's nothing wrong with the two. But the problem is, you keep throwing some of these words around, it's going to get you in trouble one day when somebody else thinks you're something else that you're really the other thing. You know what I'm saying? That's going to get you.
That's a good point. I'm laughing because I'm thinking of a session. And I think that's what separates your ability to turn your studio into a more artist based, because I don't have the skills of running through keys and different chords. I'm talented, but not to that degree. Like I can't musically compensate for it. If somebody came in with the idea, I can't be like, all right, yeah, we'll do that.
Well, see, but you could. I mean, you could. And this is why I say this is good for everybody. This is why I say you could, because like I'm a musician, so I play the keyboard, I play the drums, I play the organ, I play anything keys, guitar, whatever. That's what I do, and I play the drums. But that's just the tools that I have that I'm good at. All right, leave it there. Forget what it is. It could be the ukulele. I actually got somebody coming in here with a ukulele soon. That's gonna be fun. It could be a ukulele, right? A ukulele. And somebody comes in and you you don't know, and they need to create something, and all you got is your ukulele. You play that ukulele like, okay, like you like freaking Like God done sent that thing to you via FedEx, okay? But the thing about it is like, all right, so like in my process, the way I do stuff, and for a lot of producers, because this works hand in hand, I make a lot more money selling beats to people who come to my studio than I do online now. Now it's definitely at a premium price, God knows. So we're going to keep that right there. But what it is like, I create something, I'd be like, yo, send me a voice memo or something, or what you're trying to do, or what it sounds like, or whatever you're feeling. Send it to me. Because I'm good at what I do, and you're good at what you do, whatever y'all do, whatever program you use, whatever DAW you use, whatever tools you use what you got to get what you want. So they send them a little voice memo. I want to do this. Ooh, whatever. I come in here, 10 minutes. I done did this so many times, 10 minutes. Is this good? Yeah, this is good enough. Drag, change up one part just to make it sound, yeah, this is where the hook gonna go, chorus gonna go. Change the chords up on a little vamp, 10 minutes, all right, click. Export, send. Here's a draft for you. If you like what you hear, let me know, and we can build off of this when you come into your studio session. So now I gave them a template, something that's good. So number one, if you're slow with beat making, you already created a template of some sort. So when they come into the studio to collaborate with you, you don't have to start from scratch. So even if you're slow, you're not as slow, all right? Because the product's already halfway done. But now they get their opportunity to put that little spin on it. You know, okay, here we want to do it like this. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And you're just like, man, I don't know how to do that. Yes, I do. Open up the key editor. Command A, select all, pitch it up 3 notes. Like it's easy. Just know the tools that you got at your disposal. But that will help you out a lot more. You know what I mean? And then when I get free time, I have, because sometimes a lot of people don't like I don't like that draft at all. Okay, cool. I put it in a folder for me. That's my folder now. That's my beat. So you know what I'm saying? And now I build off of that later. I have a whole folder of beats to finish, put them up on the website, or pitch them here. I mean, it's like, but if you had like everybody, we all beat makers in here. If you a beat maker, you want to collaborate with an artist, send them little tracks, some little template. Hey, this is for you. Up the premium a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They got to pay for your time and the fact this is custom now. This is custom. Okay, so it's a little different. This ain't your $9.99 basic lease. All right, here we're talking about. So, but you do that, but when they come, they'll have the opportunity to change some things, add to, or take away to make it theirs. But guess what that person is going to do? They're going to come back. That's the key. They're going to come back and they're going to do it again and again. So you say like, oh, I don't got it. I said, I see a Kronos 88 key keyboard in your background. You can't tell me crap. You ain't got it. Hello, like in a heartbeat. As long as you got them sessions saved, man. Oh, you like this one? Oh, yeah, let's go in there. Let's just drop all the drums out and we'll just, you know what I'm saying, a simple snare, make it real acoustic vibe, like real empty. You know, that's what? In a heartbeat. Yo,
You said 2 key things, and one was in-person selling. People are more likely to close a sale that's higher than $100 or $1,000 really in person. So like, that's why usually if a sale goes above $1,000, you usually call them on the phone. They need to have some type of human validation that whatever they're getting is going to work. So that's one thing you demonstrated just with your story. Another cool thing is you allow the artist to be a part of that creative process. So now they feel like it's theirs now. Yep. That's really, 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 really important.
See, but that's for those like who want to collaborate in person and stuff. But that is such a great thing. Even if you want to do that virtually, yo, have somebody send them a little template, somebody rap, sing over it, then send it back to you. Oh, let me switch this out. I see what you did here. I see I can switch the beat up to do just what you did with your words. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, man. That's like, once I found that out, I was like, oh yeah, I don't lose no sleep. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you're building, you're giving the people who you're servicing value Value. You're giving them value. You mean I can have a beat that for me, just for me? Yes, you can. For you. Like, you're giving them value, and then they'll always come back and support you, yo. Like, you know what I mean? Not trying to go on a tangent, but I remember the last time when we talked, like, you got your different type of supporters. You got the people who's going to support you who don't, no matter what, even if you start speaking a different language, they're going to love you. They're going to buy anything you put out. You could put out a coffee mug with your name on it that says Keyz Productions. You know what I'm saying? They're going to support you just because you did that. Then you got the people who are going to support you because they like what you're doing, or they see that they vibe. They bought a couple of your music here and there. They, you know, the casuals, they're around. They're not in the room, but they're around. But then you got the people who may not support you, or they don't know you from a can of paint, but they might buy one thing from you, see you maybe twice a year online. You know what I mean? But if you know who is who in what category, yo, you know exactly what to do with that. But a lot of people, what they do, this is why I don't like the online thing. Online, it's like you cater to a million people who really don't know you. Like, you didn't spend any time for nobody in class B, and definitely ain't nobody in class A. But if you take care of class A, man, the 80-20 rule, 20% of the things you do make up 80% of the business, right? If you concentrate on the class A, then B, then C. 2021, man. 2021. That's going to be a good year. I'm telling you, that's going to be a good year. If you got a VIP section of the people you work with, man. And for real, I make phone calls. I do videos for clients. A personal video. If you spend a lot of money with me, I do a whole video. I send a gift to your house on your birthday. Like, this is like Chick-fil-A says my pleasure, okay? Like, come on, like there's a certain way of doing these things. And if you do them, I mean, golly. Yeah, it makes a difference, yo. It makes a difference. Oh, I hope I'm helping somebody out, yo. It makes a difference. Treat people like people. Back to what we said. Treat people like people. You treat them right, do the right thing, yo, but make them feel special. Make them feel loved. Man, for real, just be their friend. They'll support you. Oh, yeah.
10 minutes, I want to, because I have to prepare for another.
Oh, yeah. No, I was looking at the clock like, brother.
No, not that. It's just today is kind of full. Let's do a Q&A, and I want to reinforce what you're saying, which is it comes back to the pyramid. The pyramid at the top is the common interest, and then you have your VIP people. Now, the funny part about a pyramid is if you're at the top, if you're the top cornerstone, and then you have people underneath you, those people are essential to stand up at the top of the pyramid. The people at the bottom of the pyramid,
right?
You don't need all 1 gazillion people to lift the middle portion. To lift the top portion up. It's just that you have to have the layer right under you solid.
Right.
So, like, going back to the VIP, it's you at the top of your pyramid, your business. Your VIP supporters are really lifting you up. Those are the 4 essential things you need to lift you up. And then everybody else below them, like, I imagine like toothpicks, like a million toothpicks underneath those 4 heavy supporters. Yeah, we can have all million toothpicks, or we could take out 100,000. It's still going to lift up the pyramid. It's not going to fall apart. But if the 4 stones, if you take 1 out or 2 out, the whole, the pyramid crumbles at the top.
Right.
So let's do Q&A. I hate to cut it short. I got to be a little on time because Mixed Bus TV is coming on here. He's another YouTuber, and he's a mixing and mastering engineer master. He's a master of mixing and mastering, and I have to do the thumbnail and I have to promote it and do all this stuff.
Right.
So let's do a quick Q&A from the chat. I don't know if they even had time to ask questions the whole time. I wasn't really looking at the chat. But going into 2021, what are your biggest obstacles that you guys want handled? And then we'll give our views.
Thanks.
And then leave them off on your link. So your link was keefkeys.com. What's on the site? What can they expect?
I actually changed my site because, like I said, I'm trying to take care of the class A people now. So my site more so is like portfolio-ish. Like, my beats now made it to like page 2. I went back in the day, I was like, how dare you? Like, that should be the first thing they see, you know what I mean? I'm taking Class A, you know. So it's just pretty much services, me, stuff like that. You can go beats. I got a bunch of free stuff on there. You can free downloads on there and stuff. Blogs, everything. I mean, something to check out. The important thing is if y'all gonna go to my website, reach out to me. Like, hit me up. You know, my email address is on there. I even got a phone number on there. You can text me. You know what I'm saying? Text me, whatever. Reach out.
There it is. Here are the questions coming in real quick. So I'll do like a fire seat, so it's quicker questions. RSCL Bait says, does distortion on the 808 increase saturation? Do you use a lot of saturation on your 808s?
Some. I am a lover of Saturn.
Fat filter.
Oh my God, that thing is amazing. So I do it sometimes, not too much. I feel like I have enough 808s in the library that I can find the 808 I kind of want to sound like it or EQ it somewhat. I'm an engineer, so like I'll deal with a lot of EQing first before I go to saturation. You know what I mean? So
dope. The B-Dobe, I don't know how to read your name. Forgive me here. What are your top monetization options as a producer right now? I guess he said top, so I'm assuming he's talking about income sources as a producer. Now, for me, I run a different business, so it's not. I consider myself a producer. That's so to speak.
Like what are the top, man? Oh, Jesus.
I'll answer for me. One for me is just thinking outside the box of just the thing that you're good at. So, again, you want to leverage your brand. How can you leverage? Like, for example, what are all the things that I do? We have sounds. We have, and this is funny enough. Razor just hit me up right now. We are now ready to start. He said we're now ready to start moving forward. Funny enough, I just talked about brand. That's crazy. And then the Razor just hit me up in my email. Okay, and I'll prove it. Actually, I don't know if he might not want me to. Never mind. But that threw me off. Sorry. Okay, so utilize everything that you're doing. Profit centers. We make sounds. We have courses. We have live. We used to have live events. We have conversations, we have brand partnerships, we have affiliate commissions, we have, I said sounds already, but those are the big bucket things. And anything like Keef has a mug, like it's merch. You got to think outside of just what you're doing every single day. How can you take the one thing you do and multiply and monetize it 12 different ways? Right. I have a business coach who literally said, like, he goes throughout his life and says, how can he monetize whatever he's doing? Like if it's walking out to his car, how can he monetize that? Now, I don't think that deeply, but, you know, if he's driving a car, how do you monetize your car? You wrap your car in a wrap and then you have a tax deductible car, or and then you tag the company and potentially get a brand sponsorship. So there's ways to monetize literally everything in your life, but people just overlook those aspects. I think outside of just beats, we need to think, what else do we offer? Right. What is the other stuff? That's what I think people need to focus on. DJ Wraith says, we only have a little bit, so I want to rush through these. DJ Wraith says, figuring out how to arrange a song and figure out my new keyboard, Mod X. Do you have any arrangement tips for, as I enter this email?
To arrange a song?
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, how you'll, you know, quickly.
Every song is different. Every artist is different. You gotta just serve the song. You gotta serve the mood. Whatever the song is calling for, whatever the idea that's trying to be put forth, you do the things that are going to help that. Don't just be like, okay, first the drums, then the keyboard, all right, then verse, then the hook, and then like, no, don't get into the systematic way. Serve the song. Like a lot of artists want to do like a crazy intro, so do like a Meek Mill Dreams and Nightmare type intro where it's just, you know, the empty beat going for hours, and then it just be, you know what I'm saying, then it drops completely out, and then it bang, like, you know what I'm saying, serve the song, you know what I'm saying. So that's the, if you're working with an artist or for somebody else or even yourself, you know what I mean, if you're working for yourself, be creative, do whatever the heck you want to do, you know what I'm saying, but serve the energy, you know.
That's actually really, really deep, really high level, that people take that in. And because I'll say it in a different way, is people ask me how to do like sales pages, and it's called copywriting. And once you understand the components of copywriting, like I'll just say it in songwriting language, like what's a chorus, what's a pre-hook,
Right.
what's a tag, what's an intro. Once you know the components, you can rearrange it how you want. Just know why you're using the component. Like
Know
a
why.
pre-hook is to build anticipation for a hook. So that's
Right.
the purpose of the pre-hook. Johnny says, but one of the Q-tips might bring it. Oh, I don't know what he's talking about. Hood Known says, how does your contract policy regarding copyright royalties and ownerships work? I have an easy answer, but what is your... How do you deal with artists? Let's put it this way. How do you deal with artists who come in and they're worried about that? What do you tell them?
About contracts and stuff like that?
Yeah, like, is it clear to do stuff, or like they don't know the business side, so they're just like, hey.
They don't know the business. I mean, it's all about education. It's all about talking to them, about explaining it to them. And to be honest with you, it depends on who you're working with. And I'm gonna be totally honest, I keep it a buck. Some artists, let's be honest, they're not going to run into a situation to where a contract is going to matter so much, unfortunately. But there are some that, yes, it's very important. Hey, before you step foot in here, I need you to sign this, but it's about educating them more about how it works, the money that you would be receiving, the type of splits that there are, how you are, considered, the producer, and they are the artist, what the shares are. And if you don't know what that is, there's a bunch of material online, you even have a mastery business course. I don't know if you talk about that in there, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you have people like you who have the resources.
Yeah, and I always tell people, I have an entertainment attorney who deals with all that. His name is Ash Kernan. So Google Ash Kernan. He's in the www.producercommunity.net. He's in the Rolodex over there. So his information is over there. But you need to contact Ash Kernan. He's a genius. I don't expect to be like, DJ Payne 1. So yeah. I don't try to be DJ Payne 1. Like, I understand I could understand more, but I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So let me contact somebody who does.
You hire somebody who can explain that to the artist, or you just hire somebody to explain it to you. That's what you do. That's what you do. Real talk. You can find them on Instagram.
There it is. Let's do one more so that I can put up for the next stream here. Firstly, I appreciate you for even rocking with me. This is power packed as per usual.
Yeah, brother. This is easy, man. This is good.
Because again, I try to expose people. This is a recent thing I started doing ever since the pandemic, because now everybody's home. So I was like, why don't we just hop on live? Like, the people I would talk to anyway.
Yeah.
Why don't we expose the way we talk? Because even if the camera wasn't rolling, there might be more personal stuff revealed, but this is the same type of stuff that we talk about.
This is it.
I want people to be exposed to that. One last question here. Monetize walking out. How do you think the pandemic is going to affect the music industry? Because I think Joe Budden said, what did he say about Spotify or the award shows? Complex. What's that show called?
Everyday Struggle.
Everyday Struggle. They're like shutting down.
Yep.
And I guess that was fueled by the music industry. I don't know how it works, but like Lil Yachty would be on there. It's like clearly they're promoting through the platform.
Right. You know what? I don't know. I pretty much feel like this, that people are home. They're more so doing nothing. They're on social media more. They're more so the media outlets rather than some of the big wig media outlets, even the big YouTube channels. I'm pretty sure that like in a while, like the people who like, podcasting and all stuff like this, once the areas get like too saturated or everyone becomes that media outlet, that's when things start to change, right? Because those are the people who hold the narrative to what we see, the metrics and how we judge things and things like that. So when it comes to the music industry and everybody is just talking about everything and nobody's really solidified or the guy to go to, who knows everything that's going on, I really do feel like it's going to be somewhat of a what's the word?
Transformation.
A commodity. Like it's going to be way real common because everybody is just going to be almost on a more even leveling plane. So I think a lot of newer artists are going to have a lot of big success, way more than your signed artists. And I think a lot of signed artists are going to still have some good success, but it's going to require the level of the attention to detail to like their fan base that somebody just starting off does on a regular, because that's all they got. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel like is going to happen. You know, starting in 2021, it's going to be like a little paradigm shift. You're going to be like, yo, who was that guy? Hey, yo, he used to work on my car. Like, I ain't know he rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna start singing that. Like, that's what I feel like.
He used to work on my car.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. And I think this is the time where whenever money becomes valueless, we need to focus on true assets. So this is the time where people are throwing away money to buy a real asset, meaning like, okay, if $1 million doesn't equal $1 million, let me buy a house because that actually has value, because somebody has to live somewhere and there's only limited space. So this is the time to start bartering with other people and using without money. This is the challenge though. How do you incentivize people without money? So you said a photographer had hit you up. Like, start asking yourself, if you're trying to build your network and your assets, what can I give this person that's not money? And how do they walk away feeling as if they got something out of our our exchange? So like, for example, with the new studio, I had plans of, I plan to have a lot of people coming through, but not anymore. That's not happening. But anyway, I had to figure out a plan where a photographer would come through, a videographer, all these different roles. And I would say, okay, without paying anybody, what does the photographer get out of this? And I said, the photographer gets my trust and branding put onto them, and they get a portfolio to build, and they get to capture people they get to leverage our audience, so to speak, being tagged in photos. And not only my audience, but the other person's audience, the artist's audience. Then I said, for the videographer, what are they getting out of it outside of a paycheck? And again, the same thing, you know, with what I had to realize is that what I offer is trust, meaning like I brand people. The people who are on this channel, Curtis King, he has his own channel doing his own thing. Thanks. Hundreds of thousands of dollars later. Thanks. Mr. Different, branded him. He's doing his own thing. Alex Rome is another guy in the EDM world, branded him. He's doing his own thing. I brand people. That's kind of what I do. And then they take this and they run and do their own thing. So I'm offering that to the videographer. And, you know, there's leverage to this, and I can get them into different sponsorships and partnerships. Like, for example, and I'll cut it here because I gotta.
Yeah, you want a time limit.
Yeah, but I'm just realizing all this stuff now. One of my not videographers, my video editors, Aiden Soav. I think he video edits for Produced by Jack 2 on YouTube, for those who know. And I said, when I came to him, I said, I have an opportunity. You know, Sweetwater wants some videos, and we have a new partnership going on. And so not only was he willing to get the stamp of BusyWorks Beats, but he has the stamp of a bigger company called Sweetwater. So it's like a dual social proof element coming out of that. So now he says to the next guy, oh, I work with BusyWorks Beats and Sweetwater. He's already a trusted figure just from those two names alone. Period. So that's a value to them. So you have to start figuring out in the chat, what do those people get out of it outside of just the money? Because, and I know I'm talking a lot, but if I'm running a studio and you're not making enough money per the day, you can't pay the engineers to be there. You can't pay the videographer. You can't pay the photographer. So all the cool ideas you had can't even come into fruition anyway.
Fact, the bartering system.
Yeah, this is the time, this year and going into 2021 is we need to focus on relationships and the real assets, because with a relationship, you get more than ad money. You get what's called endorsed traffic. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't think people just value like relationships is the only thing that exists. Like money doesn't exist. It's just the idea of me giving you something. Like that's what money is.
Yeah.
That's literally all money is the idea of me giving you something. And we need to focus on the road. We need to build a road between me and you before I could drive to your house to give you something.
That's the mic drop right there.
The mic drop. So guys, oh, you know what I promised? I was going to do a giveaway. So let's do a giveaway live. Hold on, I got to switch screens real quick. So real quick, Keyz is on with us on a Zoom. And I said I was going to promise to give away a mixing course by Sound Oracle, who made sounds for Timbaland, Polo da Don. He's had sounds being all the top records from Drake to Beyonce to you name it. His sounds have been there. So he's like the relationship to have. So we had 7,244 people, 7244 people join the new giveaway for one of his courses. He linked up with another person called Realistic Productions who's on his team, and Realistic Productions made a whole course on how to mix vocals. So we're giving away a how to mix your vocals course now, and let's see who won. And sorry, Keef, you're not on the screen just yet.
No, I'm viewing you on the phone, brother.
Oh, you see it? Okay. So number 3304 is the winner, and then we're gonna announce the winner, and then I gotta do all my social media stuff for the next conversation that we're about to have. What was it? 3304?
3304.
3304 is 33. I used to be good at this. 3304 is, they didn't put their name, but their email is 91superluminal. 91superluminal is the winner there. So I'm going to email you, I'm going to send your email over to Oracle, and then he'll email you the details for how to log into your course. But it's a vocal mixing course. And for those who are watching the replay, I'll put it up on the screen real quick because they have to know what the heck I'm talking about. Do you take any courses or have you taken any?
Yeah, I used to take a lot of courses back in the day. I don't take so many now. My mentor actually has a course itself, like a real mastermind-ish type of course that I take that. But I used to take, I'm a product, always been a product of YouTube University since the beginning. So but I haven't taken any recent courses, but I really want to. I kind of want to up my engineering knowledge because that world is like a never-ending world. It's never ending. The philosophy, the things you can do, the opportunities are just amazing. I might do that. I might see what he's talking about on this.
Yeah, I don't know if he covers recording, but definitely the mixing portion. And I'm about to be on live with, again, a master of, I think he records as well, but he's he knows this stuff to the physics, to the circuitry of the thing. I'm
going to be on that one. If he does a giveaway, if he slides you a link, you know where to slide the link, okay?
he's super thorough. So I want to have him on soon. But here's the course for everybody at home. It's called The Art of Vocal Mixing. And I highly recommend everything from Sound Oracle's everything. Buy the everything bundle as far as sounds. I have everything. I buy everything. I'm still a paying customer. I tried to buy this course, but he refunded me the money because I guess I've added value to him in other ways. But I support this stuff because I believe in it. So that's all I'll leave the people off with. I got to prepare for this next conversation. We had Keyz, though, rock with me. You're on the right side, so if you see me looking at a different direction, that's why. Keyz rocking with me. Very thorough.
Absolutely.
What's your next thing that you mentioned the app about live collaboration where you could collab?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
What do you want to leave with the producer community, I should say?
What do I want to leave? Man, nobody ever asked me that. Usually I ask that. You made it, 2020. You made it. You made it to the end of 2020. Congratulations. But going into 2021, just really be diligent about the things that you want to accomplish. Don't settle for anybody. Go get what you got to get. Go do what you got to do. Grind hard, but work smarter and not harder. You know what I'm saying? End of 2021 can be an amazing year, but it's all because even though you plan at the beginning of the year what you want to accomplish, like you and I both said at the beginning, sometimes plans go straight left and they do not happen the way you think. But if you are in the place to where you can handle whatever changes are going to come, you're going to be fine. You're going to make it, and this next year, we'll just see what's yet to come. Y'all got another live at 9:00 and I'm be on that one. I need to see what you're talking about.
Thank you. This is like the, what is it? The Nate Robinson and Jake Paul fight before the Mike Tyson fight. This is this is a good fight, metaphorically speaking. A lot of good points, a lot of good takeaways.
Thanks.
So I'm going to wrap it up here, but thank you everybody for joining. Again, we'll be live in about, 40 minutes. So join us right back here on YouTube. And yes,
Peace.